This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. NLT. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. Nothing under the sun is truly new. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. My brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9 is that there's nothing new under the sun, all right, when it comes to this whole change in the financial system, okay? And the reason why I'm phrasing it that way is because I asked Google, is the crypto market today similar to Wildcat banking? And according to the AI overview, the answer is yes. All right. Now, I went into this topic before, but I wanted to go into it a little bit deeper, given that the time that we're in, clearly we're seeing crypto is not going away. Crypto's actually being regulated. There's laws on the books now. You have this whole Clarity Act that's being that's about to be pushed and about to be put into law. All right, they already passed the Genius Act, which that was pertaining to stable coins. All right, so you clearly see that the financial system is changing, just like what happened during the Wildcat banking, era, because that led to greenbacks, everything being centralized. All right, and that's what I want to go into, because again, nothing new under the sun. This happened before; it's happening again. So I asked again, the crypto market today similar to Wildcat banking? Yes, the modern cryptocurrency stablecoin markets share striking parallels with the 19th century Wildcat banking era. Both periods feature decentralized networks of privately issued money operating with limited regulation, varying reserve qualities, and risk of bank runs. Right. Okay. And during the Wildcat banking era, there was a lot of bank runs, similar to what you had with the 2022 FTX bank run, right? Okay, so there's nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. That's the point. All right, this happened before. Okay, it's happening again. All right, and for what purpose? All right, to regulate, to control it, and why? Because it's all leading to the mark of the beast, the RFID chip. All right, they want everybody out of physical cash, okay, and into this digital prison technocracy. All right, and tied to it is a chip, whether it be in your right hand or in your forehead. So we're going to go into Wildcat banking because the parallels are very similar, and this will give you an idea of what's about to happen with this crypto, market, because let me read this. Privately issued currency during the Wildcat era, 1837 to 1865. Oh, by the way, this is during the time of slavery. This is during the time where Jake had no rights. Okay, and a lot, and so when it comes to the Wildcat banking era, it was Edomites being frauds to Edomites, so-called white people doing unrighteous dealings. Okay, riches got by deceit. In fact, let's get the term Wildcat era. Hold up. Let's get the term. Where did the term come from? The term Wildcat banking originates during the U.S. free banking era in the 1830s. Again, this is during slavery, particularly stemming from the frontier economy of Michigan after it became a state in 1837. The name arose from several specific realities and legends of the area. Remote location, here's the part. Unscrupulous bankers, meaning corrupt, fraudulent bankers, deceitful bankers, would deliberately set up their banks in heavily forested, inaccessible frontiers where only wildcats roam. Why? Because the average person, okay, didn't have a horse to get to these banks. All right? So the result was what? This made it nearly impossible for people holding the bank's paper money to travel there and redeem it for gold or silver, right? And that this was done deliberately. All right? So they basically robbed the people of their gold and silver. All right? Because gold and silver is actual money. Okay? Not this paper shit. Okay? Not this digital cryptocurrency. All right? However, all right, you're forced to use it. Right? You're forced to use paper money. Just like you're going to be forced to use digital currency. See how that works? Because again, this is all designed to regulate and to force the people, okay, into this new system, just like they were forced to go into greenbacks because of the fraud, okay? So, and again, just to give you some historical note, most people didn't have money to buy a horse in these times. A horse was similar to a car. Only the wealthy, okay, and well-off were able to afford a horse. So it made sense why they did this, because they were like, man, these people ain't gonna come out here. They don't got a horse. It's gonna take them days, okay, weeks to try to find where we're living at, where the bank is located at in these heavily forested woods where the wildcats roam. So naturally, these people lost their gold and silver. And again, these were Edomites doing this to Edomites, by the way. Again, this is during slavery, but this reminded me of this scripture. All right. No, not this one. That's a good one. I want to bring that out too, because you shouldn't be ignorant. Well, I'll read this. This is spirit. Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. Right. You should know this history so you can see pattern recognition. Okay. That's those that have a high IQ. And that's how you know these Edomites don't have a high IQ. All right? They're fucking idiots. All right? Pattern recognition. Nothing new under the sun. This happened before. It's happening again. But this is what I want to bring out. Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. Right. Now you know how a lot of these certain Edomites got wealthy by robbing, okay, their own people, okay, stealing the gold and silver, all right, with this whole banking era. Like, I want you to understand how long this wildcat banking era lasted, okay? It lasted from 1837 to 1865. That is like over 20 years of robbing people of gold and silver, okay? Because they couldn't redeem these paper notes. And what was the whole reasoning? What the idea behind this? All right, it was known as a state chartered banks issue their own paper notes. Okay, don't you see that with cryptocurrency, with all these coins, and a lot of these coins are set up to do rug pulls. All right, like the meme coins. You see these exchanges? A lot of them are there to take the people's money, like FTX, and run away with it. Okay? Nothing new under the sun. Okay? Pattern recognition. And again, as prophets, we have to bring this out because this is in everyone's face now. People need answers. Okay? Especially our people. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. They need answers. What's this whole crypto thing about? What does this mean pertaining to prophecy? Right? Did this happen before? Okay? And the parallels are striking. All right, with Wildcat banking era and now. So let's keep going. It's going to be more spicy. So let me read this one more time. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right. So clearly, you see the fraud that's going on. All right, in today's financial system. Okay. From insider trading to rug pulls, you name it, all right? And that's how you know this is a corrupt kingdom. And again, who's ruling this corrupt kingdom? Who's ruling this wicked kingdom? The Edomites, so-called white people. That proves they can't be saved. All right? They're not fit for salvation. They're fit to go into slavery because everything they touch is it's all done with, okay, unrighteous dealings, injuries, and deceit. Everything they do. So let's continue on with this Wildcat banking. So this is once again, this is where the term came from. Banks deliberately put into the force, knowing that the average person, the average citizen, couldn't get their redeem their gold and silver. Wildcat currency. Legend has it that one of these fraudulent frontier banks issued a paper banknotes featuring an image of a wildcat, right, mocking them. All right, you know that was a JJ. Amalek did that. You know Amalek would do some shit like that. You know them Ish people. Unsound assets. To fool state regulators checking their required capital, bankers would put on a fraudulent display, such as filling wooden barrels mostly with nails or sand, but topping them with a thin layer of real coins of or silver. Don't we see that today? Okay, all right. The how people are acting like their banks are solvent and it's not. Okay, the Wildcat moniker was applied to these highly risky, unstable, or perilous ventures. All right, same thing, and then with these cryptocurrencies. Okay, a lot of them. All right, there's no backing them. It was just created by a group to do rug pulls. Okay? You even have certain stable coins that you got to be careful about, like Tether. There's a lot of rumor about Tether. Okay? That it's insolvent. Okay? There is no backing it. Okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if that stable coin collapses and drags Bitcoin down, because Bitcoin isn't what's chosen, it's XRP. And the blood brother Ash from Tampa, he goes into that heavily. All right, you should watch his videos. All right, GMS Tampa Bay 12. Okay. Nothing new under the sun. So now let's go into the parallels of crypto market today, similar to Wildcat banking. So this is what I asked it. Yes, the modern cryptocurrency and stablecoin markets are striking parallels with the 19th century Wildcat banking era. Both periods feature decentralized networks of privately issued money, operating with limited regulation, varying reserves of qualities, and risk of bank runs. Yep, same thing you see now. And you saw that with FTX again in 2022. All right, there was a bank run, a digital bank run, a crypto bank run, right? Okay, nothing new under the sun. This happened before, it's happening again. And again, this is all being staged and set up for total control, regulation. All right. So again, let me read this one more time. Privately issued currencies during the Wildcat era. Again, this is over 20 years. State chartered banks issue their own paper notes. Today, private crypto companies and decentralized autonomous organizations issue thousands of competing digital tokens. Stablecoin reserve. Just as Wildcat notes were nominally backed by gold or silver, but sometimes by illiquidity or dubious assets, like the nails in the bucket in the crate, you know. Modern dollar pegged stablecoins face questions regarding the transparency, right? Like Tether. There's a big question. All right. Let me show you something. What is the controversy with Tether USD? Here it is. The controversy with Tether USDT, resolves around its lack of transparent, independent audits regarding its reserve banking, its history of misleading regulators, and its use by illicit actors for money laundering and sanctions evasion. Okay? All right? So this is where the controversy is. Lack of transparent, independent audit regarding its reserve banking. Okay? So, and there's a lot of conspiracy theorists saying that this is what it's going to take down the bulk of the crypto market. All right? And certain conspiracy theorists think Bitcoin's going to lose its value because a lot of Bitcoin is being propped up by Tether, which Tether just creates its cryptocurrency out of thin air. Okay, and that's why there's a questioning on their reserves. All right, what's it backed by? Okay. Mm-hmm. That's why they haven't been when it comes to independent auditing. All right, they're constantly circumventing it. All right, not allowing a full independent audit on their reserves. So yeah, nothing new under the sun. Again, okay, history repeats itself. That's the point. That's why, for prophecy's sake, you got to understand this. All right, be not ignorant. One more time, we got to read this. Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 5, verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. Okay, let's keep going. Run risk and depegging. All right. If Wildcat banks were too far away, sometimes literally in the woods to deter redemptions, like gold and silver, no holders could suffer losses. In crypto, if a stablecoin issuer loses faith or lacks liquid reserves, like the controversy with Tether, the token can depeg from the dollar, sparking an on-chain bank run. Okay, and this is coming. All right, FTX was the beginning. Okay, there's going to be a major bank, a crypto run. All right, which is going to wipe out the bulk of the coins and the exchanges. All right, because again, everything has to be centralized. All right, and that's why when you get into this crypto market and when you invest, you must know what you're doing. All right, and you must invest in the chosen tokens that they have chosen. All right, I always say go with what crypto firm is partnering with everybody under the sun. For example, XRP. All right, Ripple Labs, the company, created a token XRP. Okay, and this token, along with its ledger, all right, is being utilized by banks and governments. It's facts. Okay, so that's one to purchase and hold on to because that's not going away. But with all these other ones, that these no names, you know, meme core, whatever the fuck that is, okay. I don't know, some of these, this is a stable coin, by the way. You know, you don't know if like some of these like Uniswap, you don't know if they're gonna be around. Pi Network, okay. Pepe, this meme coin, what the fuck is this? What's the use case? The point is that there is going to be a run. Nothing new under the sun. That's why you can't be ignorant in a great matter or a small matter. And again, this is all leading to total control for the RFID chip, which is the market beast. That's the point. Regulatory interventions. The Wildcat era ended when the federal government stepped in with heavy taxation and standardization like the National Bank Act. The modern crypto market is facing a similar transition as major regulatory frameworks such as the U.S. Genius Act, which was passed and it goes into effect January 2027, impose standardized reserves, transparent requirements, and restrictions on passive yields to protect the traditional banking system. You see that? So nothing new under the sun. Okay? It happened before. It's happening again. All right? And eventually there's going to be a great crashing, all right, which is going to wipe out crypto, all right, so that it forces everyone into this digital controlled prison for the market of beast RFID chip. So Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 10. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate and a howling from the second, a great crashing from the hills. Right, a great crash. All right. Crashes come. All right. And this time you're going to see, they call it, there's a term that the everything bubble, So we're going into the biggest crash that's ever happened in history. What is the everything bubble? The everything bubble is a final term describing an economic environment where nearly all major asset classes, including stocks, real estate, bonds, and cryptocurrency, are simultaneously inflated to historically high prices. It is primarily attributed to a year of aggressive, easy money central bank policies, such as quantitative easing and near zero interest rate. Right. So this is where we're at. Why it matters. When traditional bubbles pop, investors can usually move their money to safer alternative assets. The risk of the everything bubble is that if the market corrects, investors will have nowhere safe to hide, potentially triggering a broader systematic economic downturn. And that's what we're coming to. All right? We clearly see an everything bubble. So, yeah. So that's the great crashing. 11. How ye inhabitants of Miktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. Right. And here's another thing. You can own gold and silver all you want, but everything's going digital. Everything's going digital at the end of the day. All right. And the thing is that who's going to want to barter with gold and silver? All right. When all hell breaks loose, people are going to be looking for toilet paper, meat, human meat. All right. But as of right now, there's nothing wrong with getting gold and silver and using it as a hedge, and then then selling it, all right, to use it to buy food and stuff when things go up in price. But ultimately, the point is that if you don't have Yahweh Bashim Yahushai on your side, you can hold gold and silver all you want. That's not going to save you, all right. Let me bring this out, verse 12. And it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles, and Jerusalem's a people before its place, and punish the men that are settled on their leaves, right? That don't think this, economic catastrophe is coming. That's going to cause literally hell in America, hell on earth, okay? For lack of better words, all right? Because the only reason why the bullets hasn't flying is because people are still able to buy and sell, okay? People are still able to conduct business. But once a lot of people are not able to buy and sell, when people are losing their homes, losing their jobs, losing the little wealth that they have, that's when the bullets start flying and people invade one another. Okay, as the scriptures say in 2nd Esdras, is it the 15th chapter? Okay, and that's why you jakes that are settled on your leads, that don't think this is coming, that think you could do whatever you want, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. 13. Therefore their good shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink the wine thereof. Right? There's gonna be a point where you're gonna lose everything. Okay, that's why you need to seek the Lord. So, Lord willing, this is edifying. Again, Wildcat banking. All right. What happened in Wildcat banking is similar to what's happening now in the crypto market. And that's why I brought out Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9, because there's nothing new under the sun. History repeats itself. So, Lord willing, is less edifying to the seer Akim and Akwaf, okay, that believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that are waiting for his return. Okay, and with that, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it dirty, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostles, elders. We're almost out of here. To the few sisters that are watching, keep studying. When you pray, Chad, cover. We're almost out of here. Stay locked in. Yahweh Shai is coming back. All right. We don't have much time here. He's speeding up the times for the elect's sake. All right. And with that, shalom.